Today we're going to try a cool hack for your Maytag or Whirlpool top-load washing machine that is going to have suspension rods in it. If you have a system that has these oval lights here, then this one is going to work, or at least we're going to try to see if it works for you. And if this works, this is going to be the greatest 50-cent since, well, he was hanging upside down at the Super Bowl a year or two ago. But anyway, we're going to take the rods out of this machine and try to refurbish them using some really cheap parts here. And we'll go over and explain how this hack could work. I just got done testing the washer on camera in low spin mode and it nearly killed us. It was really scary. To confirm that the suspension rods are bad, what you're going to do is open up your unit, press down on your agitator or the wash plate if you have one, and see what happens. If you push down and the basket likes to bounce around in any direction and not just snap immediately back up, it's definitely the suspension rods. If it's not that, this hack's not going to work because chances are the basket's bad or the hub's bad or you have some sort of other issue, which I have tons of videos on. So let's go ahead and take this apart and see if our 50 cents is going to work today, just like you did during that Super Bowl.
Let's start by moving the washing machine to where I can take the lid off, as well as unplugging the washing machine from the electricity at the wall. Once you have that done, there are 3 screws on the back of this Maytag washing machine that need removed, and I'm using a 1 1/4 inch drill gun to remove each screw quickly. One of the screws in the middle holds a metal plate on the left side, so you will need to remove that and save the screws. Once you have this done, go to the front of the washing machine. To lift the washer top from the unit, you'll need to pull the washer top towards the front of the unit, lift up slightly, then push towards the back. This will allow the washer lid to lift and pivot towards the back of the unit. Note that there are 2 small metal fingers that slot into the washer top at the rear of the unit that can hold the unit in place as you pivot the top against a wall. Also note that the lid itself could fall and slam against the console top, so account for this by putting some masking tape on the lid and the washer top to help you out. With the top out of the way, locate each of the 4 suspension rods, 1 in each corner, and the cup systems that are in each of the suspension rods. Make sure that these cups are not cracked or damaged. If they are, you're going to need to replace them, and sadly, the only way to do that is to purchase new suspension rods. I will have a tag and a link to purchase the rods in the description, by the way. Other top-load washers from Whirlpool and Maytag could have slots in the corners at the top that would allow you to pull the rod up and slide it out both at the top of the washer, but also the retention area at the bottom of the tub. This varies from model to model, but our Maytag has neither of those, so I'm going to show you how to take the rods out the old-fashioned hard way. To remove the rod, I always wear rubber gloves to grip onto the rod easier. I'm going to place my hand with the glove into the chassis of the washer, grip onto the rod, and then pull it straight up. Once lifted up, I will pull the plastic cup off the rod's hook, then slowly drop the rod down, allowing it to hit the floor. Due to the weight of the tub, you only really want to replace 1 rod at a time if your unit is like this and you have to retrieve the rod from underneath. Once the rod has dropped underneath, go ahead and drop the lid of the washer back down. If you're worried about it moving, you can pivot the top back into place by pulling it forward, down, and then backwards. But otherwise, tilt the washing machine backwards so you can get underneath the unit to pull out the bad rod. The rod should be in the corner where it's held in by a molded plastic area, and you want to slowly work the rod down and through the hole to get it out of the washer. Now with the rod out, let's go ahead and apply the hack.
Now here we have the first suspension rod that we're going to apply our hack to. This one, I mean, it looks okay-ish, but let's explain why these rods go bad all the time. Oftentimes when you see a washing machine like this one with this Maytag, you assume that what's wrong is this area right here. This spring is defective or something and you have to replace the entire system. But the issue is when I try to compress the spring, it's not bad. I'm pulling as hard as I humanly can, and it's only compressing about half the way. No, what problem really there is with these units and why they fail isn't the spring, and it's not this plastic piece at the very bottom that holds it in place. It's this part right here. This part is bad. This entire assembly is shot, and what happens is it's supposed to dampen, this top part is supposed to dampen the vibrations of the washing machine, but if you touch it, there's just a ton of play here, and what we're going to do is we are going to refurbish this area using some safety pins. Now I got some straight pins here as well. You could use these, but the idea is we want to put something in here to solve this problem with this bouncing up and down. Usually the factory does this with packing grease, but it's been rusted and damaged. And you can refill this with grease, and sometimes that works. Some do this, and it will work for a period of time. Others will put a garden hose, hold it on with a cable tie. I've also seen other people use castration bands for cattle to put in this, but we are going to use, again, the 50-cent method for the safety pins to solve this because this is the cheapest and easiest thing to do.
Now here's where I met a problem. The safety pins I bought for the video are too small to work right in some of the off-camera tests. I should have bought ones that are thicker and larger, and I will have a link with the product tag as well as an Amazon link in the description, which are larger and more thicker than the ones I have here. You can use any local hardware store safety pin or craft safety pin if they are larger, like the ones that are illustrated at Amazon. However, the straight pins are a bit thicker than these crummy safety pins that I got, and they will work to demonstrate this fix. If you're using a safety pin, you want to straighten it out so that you can maneuver the needle into the plastic collar of the suspension rod and cut off the side where the pin latch is housed, like you can see in this figure here. You'll need to then separate the collar into two pieces on the suspension rod, the white top piece and the bottom black piece, although they could be different colors with your suspension rods. To do this, you'll either need a very thin flat screwdriver or a putty knife, which I think works the best. You may have to work the putty knife around the collar system, but eventually it will pop and separate. Once it's separated, isolate the top of the collar, which is the white part, where we're going to insert the pin. With the needle pointed towards the top of the collar, you're going to gently and very cautiously pull the collar down onto the pin as opposed to try to push the pin into the collar. Slowly work the needle down into the plastic collar, pressed against the metal rod as best as possible. Once the needle has pierced through the plastic collar and you can see it, push it as far as you can go and then use a pair of needle nose pliers to turn the needle back against the top of the collar, like you see here. If it's too close to the suspension rod, use a putty knife as it's very flat and should be able to bend the needle enough to use the pliers. With this pin installed, you can see that the collar is now much difficult to move, sliding on the suspension rod, which is exactly what we want. You will also want to bend the bottom of the pin down to make sure it's secure around the collar so it doesn't accidentally fall off, almost in like a U-shaped pattern. I'll show this more on the next rod. To install the suspension rod back into the washing machine, tilt the washer back again and insert the rod through the hole in the tub underneath. These rods like to fall out as soon as you put them in, but use the very top of the little collar on the suspension rod to hold the rod in place while you tilt the washing machine forward. With the washing machine back on the floor, open up the lid and again put it against the wall. You'll want to pull the rod through using your rubber glove for traction and pull it through into the metal housing where the plastic cup goes and then secure it with the plastic retainer cup that we took out earlier. Make sure that the rod sits at about the 3 or 9 o'clock position against where the slot is that you inserted the suspension rod. If you don't, the washing machine could lean to one side or another. Now we're going to repeat the whole step again. To pull out the second rod from the holder, drop it to the floor, tilt the washing machine, then pull the rod from underneath the washing machine. Once you have the second rod, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing again with a putty knife to separate the caps of the suspension rod, and it could take a few different tries. Again, you can see that there's no resistance in the cap and collar system on this rod. For the second pin, I have to use the putty knife to bend it and then use the needle nose pliers to bend the pin and then hook it into a U-shape yet again. The collar's much tighter now that we've installed this. Bend the bottom side of the pin underneath the collar to make sure that the pin won't fall out either on the top or the bottom as the collar slides, and we are now done with the suspension rod. You're going to keep going through this process, repeating it on the last 2 rods, pulling them back, using the hack just the same. Usually in the back right corner of a washing machine, there's going to be the pressure hose and wire trunk that you're going to have to navigate the rod through, so that rod can be a little bit more difficult to deal with. But overall, this fix is pretty easy. The whole project took about 30 minutes from start to finish, and by the 4th rod, I was installing these pins in a matter of just a few seconds. With all the 4 rods now successfully upgraded, it's time for the real test. Does the washing machine bounce around like a basketball still? Nope, not at all. This is rock solid and snaps back into place. For reference, here's what we had at the beginning of the video, and it was way worse. Now it's time to close the lid, take the tape off, and get it ready for testing. I'm going to go ahead and take my drill gun to the rear of the machine and install the 3 screws. Then I have to move the washing machine back, plug it in, put the drain hose into the pipe. To test the unit, I'm using a secret manual test mode that allows me to just bypass everything and run the spin mode. I will have a link on how to do that at the end of the video, so you can watch how to do this if you just want to try this spin mode to see if it works. Now it's time for the big test. And there's a little bit of banging around at the beginning of the spin cycle, but it almost immediately levels itself out and starts running way better. I should have recalibrated this machine prior to running this test, and that is something you would want to consider before you finish the suspension rod test. That video is going to be linked at the end of the video as well in the description too, along with the manual test.
So we got most of the shaking out of the machine. We had to level it a little bit, but it's way better than it was, even though the initial shake is kind of bad. Hindsight being 2020, I shouldn't have bought the cheapest safety pins that I could find available. It was kind of hard to find the right ones for this. So I'm going to include a link at the end of the video to thicker gauged safety pins. I think if I'd used something a little bit thicker gauge, or maybe used 2 of the safety pins per side of the suspension rod, it would have been even better. So probably do that off camera, but as you can tell, this is way, way better than it was. I have maybe 50 cents involved in the fix, and I think things have turned out pretty good. So I hope this idea helps you to restore your washing machine. But if you do have to buy suspension rods and this fix doesn't solve your problem and you know it's the rods because the springs are bad, I always suggest going with OEM springs from Whirlpool or whatever the manufacturer is, because usually third-party suspension rods don't work as well. That's one of the few parts on these machines that I won't suggest people save money on. I will have a link for that in the description as well. The suspension rods vary based on your specific model of machine, so make sure you get the right ones matched. I hope this video helps you. Have a great day. Subscribe for more. Bye.